My name is Malvina Rios, and this is my audience. Three women with everyday lives, all with dysfunctional family history, with trauma. They have feelings, emotions, real problems, with fears and dreams, just like all of us. Amanda is a Guatemalan national, met a U.S. citizen, was promised the American dream. Coming to the United States, she was well for a while, until her relationship turned abusive. She found herself having to work cleaning houses, even though in her country she held a master's degree as a teacher. Finding out that cleaning houses was just not gonna meet the household needs, home, food, daycare, she resorted to public assistance. Elizabeth, a young mother of two, had to leave an abusive marriage. She had to face the punishment of her ex-husband when he kidnapped their 2-year-old son for 5 years. She worked any job that she could during that time. She fought hard. When she found out the location of her son, she drove non-stop from Texas to Georgia, and she got her son back. Unfortunately, her employer did not hold her job. Having to find help for her son in his own emotional and physical abuse, she could not find a job and adequate daycare, so she too resorted to public assistance. Anna, a young teen mother, found herself in the same situation. She could not finish high school with becoming a young teen mother. Even though she was in a relationship, the relationship was very unstable. Her family history, she had adults in her family who abused her. Some of them. But regardless, same situation. She resorted to public assistance. Is it possible that education and public assistance are intertwined? Are they related somehow? Could strengthening education line up the load on public assistance? For that, we must take a closer look at those on public assistance. 50% of adults on public assistance do not hold a high school diploma. But that does not make them unintelligent or lazy. Unfortunately, they realize they do not possess the skills to obtain better paying jobs. They become desensitized and unmotivated. They are not lazy because in most states, their requirements to keep benefits is to volunteer in work programs or do volunteer work. People on public assistance cannot remove themselves from the system because there is no advancement, no incentive, no requirement for advancement. But if given the opportunity and enforcement of this opportunity is required, they would be motivated to further their education. Through history, humanity has shown its nature to want to be productive. People want to live, not just exist. Productivity brings forth self-worth and meaning into life. Requiring people on public assistance to further their education would solve these desires for many. Next, let's take a look at what has been done to make improvements for people in public assistance. In 1996, the welfare reform made adjustments to cost dependency reduction. Unfortunately, these adjustments were geared towards job requirements, which are to be monitored and enforced by the Department of Human Health Services. The work requirements were intended to get people off the system, but it has not worked. According to a study conducted by the Cato Institute, they found by US HHS statistics that less than 42% of people on public assistance participate in work programs nationwide. We need a higher return on our investment with people on public assistance. The minimum hours required performing volunteer work are 30 hours, or 20 hours if there's a child in the household under 6 years old. But it is not being enforced. In addition, a family case study by the Cato Institute, consisting of a mother and toddler children, would earn a yearly income of $28,500 yearly, which also includes medical care. It would make it very appealing for anyone that can recognize this to remain in the system. This figure is equal to an entry-level paying job. In the case study family represented in the Cato Institute study, if that family represented your family, wouldn't you remain in the system? If you had to choose between working for $28,000 to earn the same as an entry-level job, but spend less time at home with the family, wouldn't it seem logical to remain in the system where you could spend more time with the family? Would it make you a lazy person? In some states, people on public assistance earn as much as a computer programmer. That's an issue that needs to be addressed. There is proof that regardless of how appealing public assistance may be, there are those who have beat the system by advancing their education and exiting dependency. In New York, Evelyn Davila, a single mom on public assistance, enrolled in an 11-month phlebotomist and university program and graduated to make $13 an hour. Evelyn faced opposition by the public assistant program, who wanted her to quit her studies and join the workforce program. The case made it to the Supreme Court because Evelyn wanted to fight for this. The court sided with Evelyn, allowing her to finish the program. Evelyn entered the workforce to become a contributing member of society. Third, let's look at how the government sees education. The U.S. Department of Education reports that the Early Childhood Education Program was designed within the No Child Left Behind Act to provide grants to Head Start and preschool programs. The Even Start supports projects that provide educational services to low-income families, including parents, under the Adult Education and Family Literacy Act. Some states, such as New York, have granted people on public assistance access to higher education. The Empire Justice Center of New York reports that on March 31st, 2014, they passed a budget to allow access to 4-year college degree for those on public assistance. A 12-month limit is still in place, but it counts toward core work activity. According to HHS website, they recognize the benefits of offering options to further education for those on public assistance. HHS offers participating options to enroll in a variety of training and education programs toward an accredited certificate of degree. Programs may be taken in the classroom, by work experience, or distance learning. Nurse aides, LPN, LVN, medical assistant are also available careers. These are steps toward a higher return on our investment on people in public assistance. Now, let's take a closer look at what a medical assistant would earn. A registered medical assistant would attend a program for 10 months. Once they graduate and they're certified, they can earn $13 to $17 per hour, or $24,960 a year to $30,720 per year. What that means is that education shortens time on public assistance, saving taxpayers a whopping $114,000 per household. It would shorten the time of public assistance by 4 years. The concept already exists. It just needs to be enforced. It will not require additional costs. The federal government already funds students to further their education through loans. What would be needed to further strengthen is the enforceability, accountability, and the consequences for not completing the education program. Educational investments bring forth multi-level benefits, requiring public assistance recipients to further their education will extract those who do not need public assistance. It will produce a higher educational society. It will reduce dependency on the assistance. It will produce higher paying jobs, more tax paying population, less burden on society, and stop the revolving door or fallback mentality. The educated parent will reproduce that same spirit in their children, ultimately making America a better nation. In conclusion, Amanda, an intelligent woman, couldn't have exercised her teaching degree in the United States. She didn't have the same opportunities because of her circumstances. But if she had been given that opportunity, she would have been successful, and she would have exited the public assistance program a lot sooner. But because she was not given the same opportunities, she remained in the program for 9 years. Now, Elizabeth, the mom who fought hard to get her child back, decided that public assistance wasn't a way of life for her. She enrolled in the medical assistant program for 10 months. She graduated, became certified by the state of Colorado, and now she's free to earn $13 to $17 an hour. She has now exited the system successfully. Anna, the young teen mother, decided that public assistance just wasn't a way of life for her. She decided to get her GED, which then allowed her to enroll into an online college program, and she became a social worker, exiting the system successfully. Therefore, it is important to drive change in our public assistance program. By requiring recipients to further their education. Though detractors may oppose to the idea because of beliefs that high school dropouts or non-graduates are unable to make decisions to better their lives, we must start here. We must start with the 50% who do not possess a high school diploma and who depend on public assistance. by requiring them to further their education. We must stop placing this group in a one-size-fits-all cookie cutter model, says Mark Cohen, a director of litigation for the Welfare Law Center. Maintaining America's pinnacle requires math, not athletics, says Ben Carson, a neurosurgeon. A high school diploma holder earns about $41,000 a year. This is a fact that can change it all. The 50% of public assistance is capable of understanding that earning a high school diploma is a start to get them out of public assistance. A high school diploma will get them from $28,000 earnings to $41,000 yearly. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but not to their own facts, said Daniel Patrick. Ultimately, we must move forward and toward this goal for our nation's children. It is a fact that the tentacles of our parents' success or failures directly impact our own lives. Let us be the generation who chose the tentacles of success.